Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. Okay, as we all know, 2020 was about as crooked as a pretzel, right? And we hear all this, 2024 is going to be better. You know, we'll probably hear, this is the most secure election we're ever going to have again, right? We'll hear all that crap again. Yeah, maybe not. At least this time they are a little aware that stuff happens. Remember, we went through 2020 with the Russia crap and the 2,000 Mules evidence and God knows, shutting out poll watchers, putting posters over windows so people couldn't see, et cetera, midnight suitcases. Remember all that. Of course, we had all the questions arising around Dominion and all that. Okay. Didn't actually leave the greatest taste in the mouth for people that voted, that things were actually done on the up and up. Now, take a look at what's happened this week. Contrary to what MSNBC says, the sun didn't directly target AT&T. We didn't have a solar flare that affected our cell networks the other day. We didn't have some user error or whatever they want to call it for the insurance processing of prescriptions, all that sort of. We all know what's going on, okay? They can try to hide it, to spin it, to say whatever, but this is legitimate hacking into our systems. And again, if you think about it, we saw the Colonial Pipeline a year ago that got shut down because of a hack. We've seen ATMs go down because of a hack. We've seen banks. We've seen insurance companies. We've seen the phone system. We've seen the grid be attacked, et cetera, right? Why stop there? Why not go for the elections? Now, as much as all the cast of clowns, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, all these idiots out there trying to tell us how innocent they are, how everything's so good, how Donald Trump is the threat to democracy, right? Okay, that's what we keep hearing. Yeah, not so much. Okay. Does the DNC have their hand in all these hacks? Oh, I don't know, considering the proof is in the pudding that, the Clinton campaign was the one that funded the Steele dossier that was a complete lie. I wouldn't put it beyond them to cheat, okay? I don't know. Your track record is pretty good that it's already been proven about it. Come on, hey, we can talk about the photos on Hunter's laptop that, his lawyers came out and said, that was sawdust, right? Because, how many people have you known in your life that, put sawdust on a mirror with a credit card or a razor blade and try to make lines out of it? I do that all the time with my extra sawdust, don't you? So silly. So I got my hands on something yesterday that you might find interesting. I'm going to read it to you because even though I'm going to show you a picture, it's probably going to be too small to read. But this is a copy of an email that was sent from the the Wisconsin Elections Commission to the elections officials. Okay? So, talking specifically about the election. Let me read this to you. Good afternoon, elections officials. The Wisconsin Election Commission is sharing this important cybersecurity alert because it affects many Wisconsin jurisdictions. Serious vulnerabilities have been identified in common software called ConnectWise Screen Connect. This software is not related to elections. Instead, it is often used by technical support staff to remotely access computers for routine maintenance. State and federal law enforcement report that criminals are using this vulnerability to access local government systems. Very carefully worded, okay? But if we have something like that trying to hack into government systems and it's technical support to remotely access computers, what did we hear all about in 2020? Oh, the voting machines aren't connected to the internet. There's no way to change somebody's vote. True, okay? For the most part, they did find that some of them were connected to the internet when they weren't supposed to be. Okay. But so you go into the polling place and you push the button, punch the icon, whatever it's going to be for your candidate, and it'll read as Joe Smith. Okay. But when it's uploaded to the state for tabulation, that's not done by carrier pigeon. Okay. That's connected to the internet. So there's nothing to say that somebody doesn't write a script somewhere and say, change 20% of the votes for this person to this person. And as it goes from, I don't know, pick somewhere, Milwaukee to Madison, all of a sudden, the votes are switched. And then Madison gets it and goes, oh, okay. Because what would that be? That would be easily done remotely accessing computers in the name of maintenance. Interesting, huh? We'll see if this comes out anywhere in the media, anywhere in the news, okay? Whether even if it's the local TV station in Milwaukee or Madison or wherever, La Crosse, I don't know, pick somewhere, or if it hits the national news. But this is something that everybody needs to know, because if this happened in Wisconsin, what are the odds that it happened in the other 49 states? Now, Wisconsin is pretty purple, I would say. It could go either way. You hear every year, Wisconsin's a battleground state. I mean, when somebody wins an election in Wisconsin, it's 51 to 49, 50 and a half to 49 and a half. It's close. Either one can flip. It doesn't take much to flip Wisconsin. I mean, I don't remember exactly how many votes Biden won by in 2020, but it wasn't much. So one little oops could turn an election, right? Okay. These are things to watch. These are things to find out about. These are things that investigative journalists need to go look at. These are things that IT security people need to be all over to make sure that nothing's changed. Because a poll watcher's great. They can watch to make sure that nobody's being intimidated at the polls. They can make sure that, standing over the person counting the votes, that they count it all correctly, and all that can be done on the up and up. No problem. But who's watching between the time somebody says send and the time somebody says receive? Right? There's the issue. Watch this. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of crazy happenings here. You don't do something like this in a day or two. You don't, these things take time to set up, to test. Gee, how could we mess up the computer, or, the communication system? Let's test it out this day, okay? And then all of a sudden, it's go day. Let's run it, because we've spent 6, 9, 12 months making sure we got everything taken care of. Wisconsin may have noticed it. Let's see if they bust them. And when they do, I want to know who. Pinball out.